Good morning. This is Caren from Bulila. I was in the shower this morning and I thought, I really need to tell you about Suzani's. They're such fascinating pieces of craft and art. And, we've used them in our cushions. And I really, really want to tell you the story about Suzani's. So I appreciate your time. It's really chilly here this morning, so it's wonderful to be inside and warm, and I'm so grateful to have you with me. So a Suzani is a hand-embroidered textile, often used in tribal and nomadic communities in Central Asian countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and other countries in the Central Asian region. It was connected, and those countries were connected to the Silk Road, and therefore it connected it to the trade in China and Europe and, of course, Turkey. So Suzanis are thought to hail back as far as the 15th century. But the oldest surviving Suzanis are from around the 18th century. And, different regions produce different styles. Of course, you've had different tribes, different communities, different thought processes, different symbolism, and different traditions. And Suzanis reflect all of those. The word Suzani hails from the Persian word Suzan, meaning needle. The craft comes from an ancient tradition of wrapping these Suzani panels inside gurs or yurts, and they were mainly created by brides-to-be. They started quite young because Suzanis took a long time to make. It's very intricate work. We'll go through that a little bit later on. And these pieces were created for the woman's dowry, and they were presented to the groom on their wedding night. And as I said, it created, it held a great deal of symbolism for these families. We'll talk about the symbolism a little bit later as well. Now, the main thread that was used was silk, and but first, the basic or the base fabric was woven. Now, in those days, they didn't have very big looms, so they had sort of small looms, I would imagine, and then they would sew. They would do the base fabric. They would weave that, and then they would sew two of them together to make a broader fabric. And the base fabric could have been linen, it could have been silk, it could have been cotton. This example that I have here, this is not an old Suzani, this is quite a new Suzani. This was made with a cotton backing. So once they've woven the base fabric, they would take that off the loom, and then they would use mostly silk thread now for the embroidery. Now, the stitching that they used most was called couching or the chain stitch. So once they had their silk thread, they needed to dye it the different colors, right? And this was quite a thing, and it took a lot of time. So they would dye these threads with different plants and also insects to get the desired colors. So light green, they used boiled peach tree wood. Green, normal green, was boiled peach leaves. And dark green was the immature shells of the hazelnut and another green was also derived from buckthorn berries. Rose, the rose color, they used boiled apple tree roots. Light pink was boiled quince wood. Yellow, I have to try and remember all of this. Yellow was with boiled broom flowers and also pomegranate grinds. And then orange, they used onion skin. I think people know that's quite a common one. Red, they also used onion skin, but for red, they particularly used the cochineal insect, or it's like an aphid. And it's interesting that it was used as early as the 1400s, and also noticeably more during the 15th and the 16th century. And in the mid-century, 17th century, Ukrainian Jews sold this dried cochineal insect to Turkish traders. And they also used, I mean, this is a very vibrant orange. Obviously, this is, not made from insects. This is sort of modern dyeing, but the madder plant was also used for a vibrant orange or red color. So this is the reason why we say on our website not to ever wash your Suzani cushions, because even though they set these colors, they will run. And they're very old. These Suzanis are 40, 50 years old that we used in our cushions. And of course, we want them to look as beautiful as ever. I did do a separate video on how to look after your Suzani, but you can go and watch that. But just to know that, you need to rather take it to the dry cleaners. So let's talk about the symbolism of the Suzanis, because this is a beautiful aspect of it. So they used flowers, plants, even celestial embroidery or symbols to denote certain things in their culture and what they wanted for them and their families, and for posterity in terms of having children. So therefore, pomegranates, as you can see, pomegranates was very, very popular because it denoted fertility. Sunflowers represented devotion, warmth, of course, the sun, right? And the life-giving power of the sun, and which is symbolic of energy and warmth and strength. The vine leaves, you can see also on this cushion, they used leaves and vines. It represented the cycle of life, and this sort of circle I think is very representative of that, right? Eternal growth, again the circle, eternity, and it can also be associated with harmony and longevity. So the detailed work on the Suzani is a testament of these women to create something beautiful, to bind their families together, and to present to their husbands on their wedding day. These cloths tell a story of everyday life in these villages and tribes. It also, tells of the fruit and the flowers and the plants and the insects that they came into contact with. And there's been a lot of scientific studies done in terms of the, as I mentioned, all these plants that they used. They've taken samples and they've tested it, and they found out what plants were used for these colors. So it's very, very interesting. Now, as I said, the Suzanis that we used in Bulila's cushions are about 40 to 50 years old, and they were produced in these Central Asian countries. It took me a long time to find these Suzanis. They were stuck in back rooms where you don't normally see them as a tourist. So it took months and months to find these Suzanis. And I sat with them for a long time to really understand the patterns and look at the beauty of them. And some of the colors were faded, or they'd use different shades of color. And I love that. I love that it talks of, the dyeing process and the real effort that went into these Suzanis by these mothers and daughters who created them. And so once I had chosen the Suzanis that I wanted to use for our custom-made and limited series, Suzani cushions, I then wanted to pair them with really gorgeous linen. I absolutely love linen. I always wear linen most of the time. And I decided on two different producers of linen. I decided on Pierre Frey from France. They're a family-owned business, and their linens are world-renowned. Beautiful, beautiful linens, so durable and just gorgeous. And also another family-run business called Design of the Times from Belgium. So gorgeous, gorgeous linens. What I love about their linens is that it has sort of a faded look, and I just love it. It's just got such a wonderful feel about it. So once I had paired the Suzanis with the linen, it was time to put them together. And I worked with a wonderful, wonderful master tailor just outside of Istanbul in Turkey. And it took us about a week to complete the cushions. We did 35, so they custom made, they a limited series. Once they are sold, they can never be repeated. Those Suzanis can never be made again. They once-offs. And they really are special, special pieces. So a lot of very intricate work went into it. We measured carefully. We remeasured to ensure that we get the best out of each Suzani for you, so that everybody could share a piece of that old Suzani and its beauty. We also created an inner cushion, which is made from a mixture of cotton and linen. And those are with a beautiful, robust zip. It's a very long zip. I've done a separate video, so just to show you the inner cushion. So you can go and watch that. I think we'll post that after, a couple of days after this video. And we just want you to be careful with the care of your Suzani. We've done a video on the care of Suzanis on YouTube. Please go and have a look at that. We also used on the back side, I'm sure you can see it from the photographs on our website, but we used 3 generous mother of pearl or coconut shells, depending on the color of the cushion. So go and have a look at those. They are sourced responsibly, and they look just gorgeous on these cushions. So we invite you to go and have a look at our limited series, 35 cushions, on Bulila's website. The link is below. And go and buy 1 or 2 for your home or homes. And we know they will delight you every day. It's a piece of history. It's a piece of heritage. It's a story. It's a piece of luxury that you can never repeat. No one else will have the same as you do. And each one tells a story of a family, a village, a culture with symbolism, and a lot of beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship.